So time for the quietest final of the day. The MightE Bambinos, the electric karts. And it is Ansel Murray in pole position from Freddie Baker. Albert Bachler on the second row alongside Albert Farrow. Sidney Nell still has a good chance from row 3 alongside Max Joy. On the fourth row of the grid, it is Jensen James Williams and Hadley Jarvis. And then Arthur Bath, Hugo Williams and Harley Bradbury Stretton, who will line up behind them. As always, with the Bambino categories, it will be a start from the grid, a standing start procedure. So there is going to be some very excited young drivers getting their way forward to try and push on for the final. Drivers have already headed out onto the circuit, so they will take up their positions on the starting grid. And the Coma Bambinos are getting lined up in the holding area already, so very exciting stuff so far from them. But the MightE Bambinos, the little electric machines, getting themselves geared up into position. Fabulous to see them here at Glan-y-Gors. And a wonderful performance from the drivers. They will get themselves up. This is what the future of Bambino karting looks like. I have to say, having watched them from the side of the road, I think these are fabulous machines. And it's certainly hopefully going to get a lot more young talent into the sport. So the competitors will now line up in position, and it is going to be a tough one in the battle between Ansel Murray and Freddie Baker. They will line up on the front row as the mechanics clear the grid. So who is going to get the ultimate start from the front end of the field? Ansel Murray to the inside line, Freddie Baker to the outside line. The 5-second board goes up. We are ready to go racing here at Glan-y-Gors in the MightE Bambino final in the second round at GyG. Karts are in position and we're underway. And it's a good start from Freddie Baker. He draws level with Ansel Murray, but he doesn't quite get the opportunity to run alongside him. So the competitors run their way forward. And Ansel Murray still runs in front of Freddie Baker. What a start that is, splitting both of them. That is Albert Bachler. Albert Bachler has got an even better launch than both drivers and manages to split them as they go up the hill. So Albert Bachler is having a terrific opening lap. There he is, up in second position. What a good launch from Albert Bachler. So Ansel Murray is still your race leader. Still putting on a bit of a show. So an absolutely terrific situation for the competitors. What a sensational run it is going to be. Wow, fascinating battle. And a terrific run for the competitors. So still, the competitors give us plenty of drama in the MightE Bambinos. In the MightE Bambinos, I should say, sorry. The MightE Bambinos will be the last race of the day, of course. But Freddie Baker has got a good run on Sidney Nell. Trying to get through. Sidney Nell's made a terrific start. Good to see him putting on a bit of a showcase here as well. But Ansel Murray looking really strong. Sidney Nell just trying to hang on to it here as he holds in front of Freddie Baker. Baker is fighting back. Very valiantly indeed. Freddie Baker and Sidney Nell working hard and racing each other valiantly for third position. Sidney Nell just trying to keep it nice and tidy. But Farrow and Bradbury Stretton are doing a great job. 5th and 6th position for those two. As Harley Bradbury Stretton is trying to make up for good time here. 7th is Joy. Then it's Williams. Oh, and that's Nell and Baker both running wide. So they run wide at third and 4th. So Nell needs to chop across and keep Freddie Baker at bay, which he does. And now going through turn 1, you're also going to see a bit of a charge for it from Albert Farrow. And Harley Bradbury Stretton having a good race. Here's Freddie Baker getting up alongside Sidney Nell. This is for third position. Sidney Nell's going to turn in and keep Freddie Baker at bay unless they get to the hairpin together. And Sidney Nell hangs on much better in the final from Sidney Nell, but he runs wide on the exit. Chops back across Freddie Baker. Baker's going to try to go for the move, but Sidney Nell has him for the moment. Great battle with these two. These karts are so quiet, you can actually hear the parents cheering for them at the side of the road. Fascinating stuff. And the battle from 3rd to 6th could go anybody's way here. Sydney Nell, Freddie Baker, Albert Farrow, and Harley Bradbury Stretton all having a great duel for 3rd position. Then Joy, then Williams, Bath, Williams, that is the 91 kart of Hugo Williams, and then in 11th place it is Hadley Jarvis. So Sydney Nell trying to keep Freddie Baker at bay. Baker goes right, nothing doing, goes left, has a little more space to play with, but Sydney Nell places his kart there as well. Up the hill they come once more. And I have to say, great to see the new changes to the paddock this weekend since the Racing with Respect, Respect in Racing accolade has come in, the concept of respect in racing, and they've really tightened up all of the shenanigans that were occasionally happening in the paddock, and it's nice to see that it's about the racing rather than the off-track activities. So really good to see that that has obviously worked out well. Now Sydney Nell has lost out there to Freddie Baker. So Freddie Baker's got through into that 3rd position. A good overtaking move from Freddie Baker. That puts him P3. There's your leader, Ansel Murray, the number 96. Still stretching out the gap over Albert Bachler, who is in 2nd position now, as Freddie Baker into 3rd position. But look at Ansel Murray. He's already catching up to the back markers. And the first one, of course, he's going to see is Hadley Jarvis. Look back to 2nd place. It's an age to find Albert Bachler. Oh, and it's Freddie Baker. Freddie Baker's come through in 2nd place. So Freddie Baker managing to catch and pass Albert Bachler. So Freddie Baker back into 2nd. He's had to work hard for that. So great results so far, and definitely charging his way forward. An excellent comeback so far in this final. And Sydney Nell is just trying to keep himself nice and smooth ahead of Albert Farrow. And Harley Bradbury Stretton seems to have fallen a little way back from the pace of these two. But he's still there. He's still on the road. But let's give these guys the credit they deserve. You've got to remember that some of these guys are as young as 4 years old. And they are racing around GyG, one of the toughest circuits in British karting in terms of the physical demands on the body. I've known drivers tell me that they have broken ribs while racing here without having an accident. So that just shows you how physical this circuit can be at the best of times. So this is Albert Bachler just getting up behind Hadley Jarvis to put a lap on him. Goes through, no major concerns at all there, nothing to be concerned with. But there's a great battle further back. That's Sydney Nell versus Albert Farrow, as Freddie Baker now gets up the inside of Hugo Williams and gets through to lap him. But Freddie Baker is just chipping away at the advantage that Ansel Murray has. Ansel Murray's in the 60.5s. Freddie Baker is in the 59.2s, so he's going over a second a lap quicker. The problem is he's going to run out of time at this rate because there's 4 minutes to go and the gap is 8 seconds. The gap has actually gone up at the end of the last lap because Freddie Baker was really struggling to make an impact there in the traffic. So Ansel Murray still looking good to make the clean sweep. Excellent performances so far through this field. Baker in 2nd, Bachler is 3rd, then Nell, Farrow and Bradbury Stretton. P6 for him at this moment. Some good little drivers out there in the MightE Bambinos. Good to see them put on such a textbook display. As Baker still does everything he can to close up on Ansel Murray. 3rd position for Albert Bachler, and then 4th for Sydney Nell ahead of Albert Farrow and Harley Bradbury Stretton. Then Max Joy in P7. Jensen James Williams is in 8th position. Oh, this is a nice little gaggle as Sydney Nell and Albert Farrow try to lap Arthur Bath. So Arthur Bath gets out of the way, and that's nicely handled. Now Baker's just done the fastest lap of the race at 59.1, and that brings the gap down by another second to 8 seconds. But with 2.5 minutes on the clock, you do get the impression that Freddie Baker is going to run out of time here to deal with Ansel Murray. Not for the want of trying, though. There is Freddie Baker, pushing hard in 2nd place. Even if it looks like it's impossible, there are certain drivers out there who just don't do the word impossible. So there's Freddie Baker. And there's the race leader. There is Ansel Murray. He's managed to get his way past JJ Williams on that lap to pull a lap on him. And so Jensen James Williams will just continue in P8, albeit a lap down. And there is your race leader, Ansel Murray. Still just taking it one corner at a time, one lap at a time. Not rushing this at the slightest. Just trying to keep it nicely together. Very tricky in the closing stages of the race because that's when the tyres are screaming at you the most. And you want to make sure that you've got as much grip to handle the last couple of laps as possible. But there's Freddie Baker. The gap comes down again to 7.4. But this time Freddie Baker only half a second quicker rather than a full second and a bit. He's still gaining, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough with 1:20 on the clock. Had Freddie Baker been able to get into second position relatively quickly, and I think we definitely would have seen a challenge for him for the victory, the pace he's currently setting. Of course, it does get to the point when the drivers get so tired that the variance of the lap times can become very gargantuan indeed. But certainly for Freddie Baker, it looks good as they're into the final minute. So Ansel Murray is going to come through and start his final lap but one. There is Freddie Baker. The gap comes down to 6.5 seconds. So this is the penultimate lap. I'm very impressed with Albert Buckler in this one. Third position for him so far. He hasn't really outdriven himself. He hasn't pushed over the limit. Again, he's just kept it to what he can handle out there. And still, Sidney Nell battling away with Albert Farrow, although Farrow, I notice, has got through. So Farrow is up into 4th position on this occasion. A good run from Albert Farrow. Sidney Nell just losing ground there a little. But this man, Ansel Murray, a very talented young boy, is just going to continue his run in the MightE Bambino. Oh, there's a yellow flag out on the circuit as Ansel Murray laps Hadley Jarvis for the second time, but we seem to have had a Kart come off the road. I'm not entirely sure who it is, but certainly a yellow flag out there. Last lap begins for Ansel Murray. Freddie Baker is giving it everything as the gap comes down again to just 4.6. So Ansel Murray losing nearly 2 seconds to Freddie Baker on that lap alone. But who is the Kart that was involved in the yellow flag incident? I think they might have actually got going again. So I can't actually see a Kart stationary out on the circuit anymore. So I think the yellow flag incident was only a temporary one. I think it was only an isolated incident. But there is Ansel Murray. Excellent drive from him so far. And he is going to finish it off in fine style. Dare you look at anybody else in this field as driver of the day, because he was awesome in all 3 of his heats in the MightE Bambinos. Yellow flags again then. So there is definitely an off at that point of the course. But what a terrific run from Ansel Murray. He comes out of the final turn and he is victorious. Great job from Ansel Murray. A brilliant drive from Freddie Baker as well. He'll get the win one day. It won't be long. And in 3rd position, a very sensible run all the way through from Albert Buckler. He's going to seal 3rd place ahead of Albert Farrow, who is another one who you could say is a candidate for driver of the day. Leading novice, 4th position. But a very tough order. There you go. Albert Buckler is absolutely delighted with 3rd place. And as they come to the line, it is going to be a close run thing between Farrow and the back marker. Farrow comes through for 4th place. Sidney Nell will hang on for 5th in front of Harley Bradbury Stretton. And then Max Joy will be the last driver on the lead lap, ahead of Jensen James Williams, Arthur Bath, Hugo Williams and Hadley Jarvis. So fascinating stuff and a really intense battle right the way to the death. Max Joy will be the last driver home. In fact, he peels off into the pits, so he will not finish the race, technically speaking, although he will be a lap down, and he'll be confirmed as 7th place. Ansel Murray then, a clean sweep. And yeah, you know what? I am going to give him driver of the day for that. He hasn't really put a wheel wrong all the way through this final and through any of the heats either. Ansel Murray has been there or thereabouts. Great to see him pull off a great show in the MightE Bambino final. So, a great job there and a fantastic performance from the competitors. Freddie Baker, great to see him charge through. And Albert Buckler really has every reason to be delighted with himself for 3rd. A good run from Albert Farrow as the leading novice. What a great performance. Now, there's more action on the way from the Coma Bambinos.